Welcome back, friends. Today I wanted to talk about something that I may or may not have ever touched on in one of my previous videos, and it really kind of made me click because I got a call from one of my carriers who, you know, we work together on a pretty regular basis, and they were looking for some additional lanes out of the Louisville, Kentucky area. And so as I'm going through, my list and places to look at, I always, before I even attempt to make a call, kind of refresh my mind a little bit, look up their website. Typically, if a company doesn't have a website, almost everybody has a website, right? And if a company doesn't have a website, I oftentimes kind of pass them over, because if they haven't invested in themselves enough to even have a website, that's more than likely a shipper I probably don't want to work with. So, and I do the same thing when shippers give me loads. Once I know who the receiver is, I'll do the same thing, and I will advise my carrier, the dispatcher, the driver, whoever it may be, the things that I'm about to talk to you about now, right? So I looked up this company called Atcor. They're out of Louisville, Kentucky. They ship open deck, step deck loads, etc. And when I pull them up, you see this little Google business page listing here on the right side of the page. I know you guys have seen these probably before. And you see these Google reviews, all right? Well, they're showing 1.9 out of 5 stars here. That's usually a warning sign. Now, it's not always a make or break. Like, it might be, disgruntled employees or something, and they might be really old reviews. But if you look at the shipping manager, how long they've worked there, and things, and to see if they've even attempted to try to fix any of these issues. So let's go ahead and click on that. So the first thing I see from 8 months ago, looks like here's a driver, slow loading, checked in at 9:08 a.m., loaded the last bundle on trailer at 3:28 p.m. Right? Worst loading ever. Inappropriate and unprofessional. Be careful when you're going to this facility. Looks like they had one gentleman there. Not bad. 2 hours in and out. Stay away from this place. They're slow, unprofessional, slow loading. They left a picture. 5 hours for loading. Very slow. So there seems to be kind of a consistency here, right? So drivers leave these reviews, for these companies to warn other drivers, and if you start to see, like I said, kind of a consistent pattern there, even you as a broker, you're thinking, well, I'm not sitting for 5 hours waiting to get loaded. No, but you're going to hear about it. Your driver is going to call you and say, hey, we're approaching a 2-hour mark or the 3-hour mark, whatever detention policy you have in place. And that's going to start. And I've had shippers like this in the past, before I started looking at Google reviews, that would argue about how much detention was actually owed, right? And you don't want to get into that, because these are all things that'll start to kind of eat into your day. And it's a good way to lose your carrier relationships if you give them a load out of a place like this, knowing full well that the odds are that they're probably not going to be loaded right away. If they get held up that many hours and they've got another load to pick up, let's just say this load picking up in Louisville going to Dallas. They've got another load scheduled to pick up the same day that they're delivering in Dallas. Well, all of these things have effects, right? It's kind of like a trickle-down effect, or whatever you want to call it, or domino effect, right? That screws up a driver's day. And for me personally, my carrier relationships are far too valuable for me to just be banging on the phone for any potential shipper out there that might give me freight, especially out of a larger area like Louisville, right? You know, I'll move on and find something else. So, guys, really, you want to watch these Google reviews because it's going to save you a lot of headaches. It's going to save you your carrier relationships. And the same thing with the receiver, too. You know, look up and see who the receiver is. You know, what do their Google reviews look like? And then maybe warn your driver, hey, you know, I've actually told, you know, drivers before, like, not sure if you want to take this load and here's why, you know. Or I've flat out just stopped working with shippers or sending loads to a particular receiver. Like the shipper might be great, but there might be one or two receivers that they ship to, you know, and then they'll start to ask me, well, hey, you know, how come you're not getting me trucks for these lanes anymore? Well, here's why, you know, and maybe they can light a fire, you know, under the, you know, with their receiver, with their customer saying, hey, you know, we're having a difficult time to get, you know, trucks to run these loads over to you because you guys are so slow, whether you're overbooking on your appointments or you're short staffed or whatever the case may be, right? And ever since the pandemic, we've kind of, I think that we've kind of run into this a little bit more predominantly than we have maybe in past years. Not that we haven't run into it in past years, but just with the employee shortage and things like this, you know, so we all have to have a little bit of patience, right? You know, I mean, if it's, you know, takes them 2 hours and 15 minutes, oh, they're slow loading or offloading. Well, you know, let's be a little bit reasonable. But 5 hours, you know, and I've heard some, you know, 12-hour, you know, delayed a whole day, 2 days, 3 days even, you know, odds are that carrier, especially if it's a new carrier that you're working with, they're probably not going to blow your phone up looking for another load, right? So, you know, guys, these are all things that are going to help you be more successful, help your carriers be more successful, right? Because, you know, you take care of them, they're going to take care of you, okay? Your customer will be happy. They'll probably open up more lanes for you, which creates more business. The more business you have, you know, I've actually had carriers. Now, this is something else to think about, guys. I've had carriers that have done so much business with me in the past that they have recruited more drivers, gotten more trucks, gotten more trailers, you know, to fill that capacity need that we had for them, you know. So it's a win-win for everybody. You know, it really is. And that's why I always say, you know, everything should be, you know, kind of a perfect marriage, right? As much as we possibly can. And I don't like problems. I like to be able to have my drivers pick up, deliver, get me the paperwork, I get you paid, boom. You know, everybody's happy, 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 right? Unfortunately, there's always going to be, at some point in time, you're going to run into some sort of an issue. Their fault, your fault, nobody's fault. Something's gonna arise, and we need to be prepared for things like this. But when we can kind of be a little bit proactive before we reach out to a prospect or a potential shipper, you know, these are things that'll kind of save us future headaches, right? So that kind of sums it up for what I want to talk to you guys about today, guys. Again, if you're looking for freight training, we've got resources for freight training. You know, if you're looking to keep up on the local news, I know you guys have probably all heard about the, you know, the convoy and everything by now. You know, if you're looking for, you know, the 30-day free on DAT, I got to change this image because it used to be 15-day, but it's actually 30. So I need to fix that. And I've also got links for everything down below in the description. But yeah, there's a lot of different things on there, you know, about, you know, deciding what business structure, filing for your broker authority, getting your bond, insurance, you know, all of these things, you know. So yeah, a lot of, you know, valuable resources there for you guys. I hope they're all helpful. Guys, hey, I want to thank you all again. The last video got a pretty good response with the free shipper list for produce shippers out of Virginia. I hope you guys, those of you that have you know, out of those first 6, I actually did not get the emails from a couple of you yet. So I'm hoping to see that so that I can mail that out to you. So if you haven't seen the previous video, you know, if I don't hear from these individuals, sorry to say, I'm gonna have to pass them over, and I'll move on to the next ones, right? Um, so uh, so yeah, guys. Hey, again, I appreciate y'all, and I hope your day's going well. And as always, be kind to one another. Bye bye now.